Morning sunlight poured through the living room window, casting golden lines across the hardwood floor. The house was quiet, serene, as if holding its breath before the chaos to come. In the middle of it all, curled up on the back of the couch like a loaf of bread, was Pickles. A short-legged British Shorthair, with amber eyes and a face full of judgment. Pickles had two speeds. Elegantly asleep or vigilantly patrolling the house, he was the undisputed ruler of this domain. A cat of habits, routine, and dignity. Nothing in his world went unnoticed. Not a crinkling snack wrapper. Not a bird landing on the windowsill. Not even the subtle twitch of a curtain in the breeze. But something was about to disrupt his peaceful kingdom. It started with the unmistakable sound of cardboard being sliced. From the kitchen, his human, Emily, was opening a large package. Pickles didn't move, but his ears turned toward the sound. Then came the rustle of instructions, the low buzz of electronics being connected, and finally Emily's voice saying something cheerful and naive. "This is going to make life so much easier." Pickles stretched, yawned, and jumped off the couch. He padded silently to the kitchen doorway and peeked in. Emily was standing over a sleek, round machine. Black, shiny, and unfamiliar. It had blinking lights and a glowing button. It looked harmless enough, but Pickles narrowed his eyes. Machines were rarely harmless. Emily pressed the button. A soft chime sounded, and then the robot vacuum, brand new and full of purpose, began to move. It rolled forward smoothly, then turned in a perfect arc, scanning the room like a hunter waking from centuries of slumber. Pickles stared, unmoving. The vacuum rolled closer. Pickles didn't flinch. It passed him, barely brushing against his tail. Pickles flinched. Emily clapped her hands. "See, Pickles, nothing to worry about." Pickles trotted after it cautiously, tail high. He watched it roll around the kitchen, bouncing gently off walls, changing directions at random. The machine was slow, but methodical, cold, emotionless. It rolled under the dining table and emerged with a dust bunny clinging to its side. Pickles hissed. That was his dust bunny. The robot didn't care. It moved toward the hallway, whirring quietly. Pickles followed it like a detective trailing a suspect. He darted behind furniture, keeping low, stalking. Every time the vacuum spun or reversed, Pickles leapt backward, only to resume his pursuit seconds later. Then came the moment of truth. The vacuum entered the living room. Pickles sprang onto the coffee table to get a higher vantage point. The vacuum didn't pause. It rolled forward confidently, straight toward the couch, straight toward Pickles' nap spot. He stood up taller. This was an act of war. The vacuum gently bumped into the leg of the couch. It turned slightly and tried again. Another bump, then another. It was trying to climb, trying to conquer. Pickles leapt from the table onto the couch and stared down at the invader. The robot, undeterred, rolled away. Pickles jumped down and pounced on it. A soft clunk echoed in the room. The vacuum stopped moving. Pickles stood on top of it, tail twitching victoriously. He had defeated the beast. Emily entered the room, looked at the scene, and laughed. "Oh no, you broke it already?" She picked Pickles up, placed him on the couch, and restarted the vacuum. It blinked, beeped, and came back to life. Pickles' eyes widened. It was immortal. That night, when the vacuum docked itself in its charging station, Pickles sat across the room, glaring at it in the shadows. His nap spot had been violated. His dust bunny was gone. His world was changing. The next morning, the vacuum roared to life on its schedule. Pickles leapt to the highest shelf in the living room and refused to come down. Emily sighed and shook her head. For days, this pattern continued. Vacuum wakes, Pickles retreats, vacuum roams, Pickles observes. Then, one afternoon, the vacuum made a mistake. It rolled over one of Pickles' toys, a squeaky mouse, and got it tangled in its brushes. The machine emitted a sad beep and stopped moving. It wiggled helplessly, trying to spin free. Emily was in the shower. The vacuum was alone. Pickles approached slowly. He looked down at the machine, now silent and still. For a long moment, he did nothing. Then, with deliberate grace, he nudged the toy mouse loose. The vacuum beeped in thanks, or perhaps rebooting. Pickles sat beside it, watching. The machine slowly rolled away. From that moment, the war cooled. Pickles still didn't like the vacuum, but he no longer saw it as a threat. It was just another dumb creature in the house, like the humans. Predictable, clumsy, annoying, but not dangerous. One evening, Emily placed a treat on the vacuum as a joke. Pickles stared at her, then the treat, then back at her. The vacuum started moving. Pickles chased it. Emily recorded the moment. Pickles, bounding after the robot like a jungle predator, leaping onto it, riding it across the room with the treat between his paws. She uploaded the video. It went viral overnight. People fell in love with Pickles, the serious-faced cat who'd battled a robot and won, only to ride it like a king. Fan art appeared online. Someone made a remix of Pickles riding the vacuum to dramatic music. Merch followed. Mugs, stickers, even plush toys. But none of that mattered to Pickles. All he wanted was for the vacuum to stay out of his bed, and for Emily to stop putting things on top of it. The balance of the household had shifted, but Pickles adapted. Because at the end of the day, no machine, no matter how smart or shiny, could outmatch the watchful eye of a cat determined to defend his territory, even if that territory included a robot with wheels and terrible boundaries. Late at night, when the lights were off and the vacuum was docked in its little corner, Pickles would sometimes walk past it and give it one last look, not out of fear, but just in case. Because machines don't sleep, and Pickles wasn't taking any chances. If you love heartwarming animal stories, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more adorable adventures.